Now, President Obama is convinced that the U.S. has an advantage over Europe in dealing with the threat of radicalized Muslim extremists. Let's listen to why he says that.
Our Muslim populations, they feel themselves to be Americans. And there is this incredible process of immigration and assimilation that is part of our tradition that is probably our greatest strength. Now, it doesn't mean that we aren't subject to the kinds of tragedies that we saw at the Boston Marathon, but that, I think, has been helpful. There are parts of Europe in which that's not the case, and that's probably the greatest danger that Europe faces.
I want to bring in journalist Anousheh Hussain. She is the editor-in-chief of Anousheh's Point and an expert on global women's issues. So, Anousheh, thank you so much for being with us. Do you agree?
Thanks so much for having me.
Do you agree with the president? Is it a different situation for Muslims here in America, better assimilated than in Europe?
I actually completely agree with the president. You know, America, in comparison to Europe, is a much younger nation. Not to say that Europe is a nation, but people are still immigrating to America, and America prides itself in being a nation of immigrants. So we've been able to, Muslims in America definitely have been able to assimilate better, but we're also higher. We have higher rates of education in America. We have higher income bracket rates. The average Muslim in America, not the average Muslim, but a large majority of Muslims are in the, six-figure income bracket. So it's made a really, really big difference. You know, there's a 40% unemployment rate amongst European Muslims. So that right there gives radicals and extremists a really large pool to recruit from.
Now, when the president made that statement last Friday, he was standing with British Prime Minister David Cameron, who actually sort of disagreed with the president. And there have been analysts who pointed out that the 7/7 attackers in England from 2005, that they were largely assimilated. The president himself put an example up. He said the Tsarnaev brothers in Boston. That, of course, happened in the United States. So is he perhaps making light of the situation?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, of course, Cameron is going to disagree because he's dealing in a different environment, right? He's dealing in the European ground, so of course it's different from him. But that being said, I think that people are still immigrating to America, so it makes a really big difference because we pride ourselves in being a melting pot. Versus, I feel like European Muslims still have to choose. It's especially difficult for the French, who such a big part of French identity is being secular, right? So when you have the Muslims coming in, the Moroccans, the Algerians, which really make up a large part of their Muslim population, they're really having to choose. Are you North African? Are you French? Or are you Muslim? So they don't really have the sense of belonging that Americans do. We can't make a blanket statement, but I definitely understand why Cameron would disagree with the president. I don't think he's making light of the situation, but the fact of the matter is, the environment for Muslims in America is very different.
No, you bring up an interesting point. I just got back from France, and you do get the sense that Muslims feel, many of them there, you have to choose between Islam and France. The two don't walk hand in hand. Is that different in the United States? You do not have to make that choice to live and to operate as a Muslim and an American here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We're definitely categorized a lot by our ethnicities, but you're never really called. I mean, I guess Muslims are referred to as like Muslim Americans, but you're not really referred to as like Buddhist Americans. But for the French, I mean, that's what France is built upon, is secularism. And I think that what makes them increasingly and incredibly uncomfortable with Muslims, because for us, it's a big part of our culture and our identity. So if you're telling us that we're not French because of one aspect of our identity, it really gives you kind of a sense of displacement. And, that's why the French have had such a big issue with banning the burqa, not wanting to see the burqa in their public spaces, because it just puts religion in such a big context for them that they're completely uncomfortable with.
Anousheh, there's a discussion on another front that's been going on for the last 10 days or so, the issue of what do moderate Muslims, what responsibility do they have now to speak out against terror? Where do you come down on that?
I think we do have a big responsibility to feel it, but I also have a big issue with this statement, because I feel like we are being asked to speak on behalf of the extremists. We are being asked to apologize for their actions. And in many ways, I feel like we are their greatest hostages. You know, we kind of have to pay the racial ramifications of their actions. We're the ones who have to go through increased security. We're the ones who have to deal with Islamophobia. I mean, the backlash really falls on the moderates, but people forget that we're just as much of a victim of Islamic extremism. I mean, we really shouldn't even call it Islamic extremism. Their fundamentalist actions just as much as anybody else's. And we can't be all lumped together. There's 1.7 billion Muslims in the world. And, you know, I don't claim to be speaking for everybody, for all Muslims. I can only speak, you know, from my perspective. But I will say one thing, that there might be this big difference between European and American Muslims, but everything is not rosy in America. The one thing that really kind of unites Muslims across the board is Islamophobia. We are all victims to that.
Anousheh Hussain, you speak for yourself, and we're glad that you do. Promise me you'll come back on our show. Really appreciate you having with us.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you.